to you about something a little bit different, and that is books. Why books? Well, frankly, I teach English, writing, and reading, and have done so for the last 15 years. So books have always been something that I have been into, and I've read a great deal throughout my life on subjects all over the place. And so books have always inspired me, and I thought that I would share with you today some books about hiking, backpacking, and outdoor adventuring that have really been books that I've read multiple times, that I've really gotten into and really enjoyed. And I figure if I enjoy them, maybe some of you will too. I like Appalachian Trail journals. And my first experience with one was this one right here, All in One Roll. The story of Gonzo's 2,138-mile journey along the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. And this was the first one that I read. So what I did was in my spare time, I would pull this up online, and I read it, and I found it very enjoying. The guy's name is Gonzo. His trail name is Gonzo. His actual real name is Alan, and he does his hike, his through hike back in the very early 80s. I believe it was 1983 was the year that he did it. And again, this was my first trail journal, the first trail journal that I read, and it kept me intrigued. I kept coming back to it. I probably read this over the course of maybe 2-3 months. Wherever, in my free time, I would pull it up and start reading where I left off. So I do highly recommend that. Again, that is all in one roll. You can find this by typing in Google, All in One Roll, and it will bring up, I believe it's the first thing that pops up, but it is Gonzo's story. And if I enjoyed it, I think you will too. Another one that I really liked, and this came later, but this one's called Then the Hail Came by a man named George Stephanos. And you can find this also by going to Google and typing in Then the Hail Came, and it will pop up. It's actually skwc.com, Exile's homepage, and basically what this is a book of this man's journey along the Appalachian Trail. And it's a little bit more recent than Gonzo's 1983 adventure. I don't remember exactly. It looks like 1997, March of 1997 is when this trail journey was begun. And anyways, George comes upon trials and tribulations on the trail, like I'm sure most people do, and it's well written, it's well done, and I think you'll enjoy it. Again, you could read this in your spare time, and there's 3 parts, 26 chapters. He was successful in completing the through hike, and read it. I think you'll enjoy it. Then I found this one. This is called Hiking Through: One Man's Journey to Peace and Freedom on the Appalachian Trail, written by Paul Stutzman. Now this one I found while standing in line at the pharmacy, and I looked over and there it was. And now this one does have a little bit of a spiritual undertone to it, but it is not over the top. Basically, the guy that wrote this, Paul, he was I believe a Mennonite, and he had left the Mennonite community, and what inspired him to get out on the trail and ultimately to write this book was his wife got very sick from cancer. And he had talked to her about doing this before she had passed away. And once she did pass away, he had to fulfill his promise and get out there and do it. So this is his journey through his tragedy and to remaking his life. And I enjoyed it, and I think you will too. Very well written, very enjoyable. and inspiring at the same time. And we can all face it, we can all use a little bit of inspiration from time to time, rather. Next, and this is my favorite one, this is AWOL on the Appalachian Trail by David Miller. Now, it's my understanding that David Miller is very involved with the Appalachian Trail Conference, and he produces maps and other things for them. So he continues to contribute to the community, the backpacking community and the hiking community and the Appalachian Trail community. For that, I can't say enough good things. But David's book starts with the premise of, hey, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to throw on a backpack and I'm going to go hike the Appalachian Trail. Why? Because I'm in my 40s, and if I don't do this now, I may lose the opportunity. Many of us, I'm sure, that idea resonates with. So I highly recommend it. It's very well done, very well written. It's intriguing, and again, like the other authors, he faces his share of obstacles along the trail and ultimately overcomes. One other book that I want to talk about, and you saw it on my stove video where I used the book to press the two pieces of the stove together, was Bill Bryson's A Walk in the Woods. And while not a strictly hiking video, he does bring in elements of history and science and biology into that book. It's not a true trail journal, but it is hilarious. It was a New York Times bestseller. And a very popular book, sold many copies. And Bill Bryson is a guy that has a very sarcastic, ironic, and dry humor about him. And I found myself laughing out loud hysterically as I read through the book. And while not strictly a hiking book, he does share his experiences of hiking 500 miles on the Appalachian Trail. And 500 miles is, frankly, 500 miles. Anyways, those are Woods Trekker's favorite books about hiking that I've read multiple times. And when I'm bored and I'm not watching YouTube videos, or I'm not working, or taking care of family responsibilities, or getting outdoors, oftentimes I will either go back to one of those books or look for new ones, and there are many Appalachian Trail Journal books to be had. So go ahead and look for some of those things and try to find them. All the ones that I've read have been very enjoyable. So if you're into that sort of thing, I've given you my recommendations. Enjoy, have fun out there. Take care, YouTube.